Here, it was very difficult. And having accomplished this against somebody like Mr. Weinstein, it will provide a benchmark for cases going forward. No question about it.
And I just want to talk about what the District Attorney, Cyrus Vance, had to say. He says, this marks a real change in the landscape for the victims of sexual assault. I mean, Weinstein managed to silence women for years, for decades, using non-disclosure agreements, payoffs, that kind of thing. Do you think this case, this verdict, will help to end that culture, that cover-up culture?
Yes, it will. It will, absolutely. And that trend had already been starting. Now, it's not to say that it's going to wipe it out. It's one step among others, but it's a very big and important step. This is a very notable defendant. And on the one hand, he was a big target because of all the things that he'd done over such a long period of time, as you alluded to. On the other hand, when you get down to individual cases in a criminal context, it can be very complicated. Each case has to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt, which is as it should be. And it's always going to be difficult for victims. And it's going to be difficult on the system, on prosecutors as well. And each victim and defendant is entitled to have their rights represented in court. And that needs to be the case. So all of this means that it's still going to be complex going forward, as it needs to be. However, it shows that no matter what somebody's position of power, that at some point justice can prevail. And that is what has appeared to have happened here. The evidence was fairly presented before a jury. They deliberated carefully from all indications, and they were able to reach a verdict which seems quite substantially supported by the evidence here. This will make a difference for everything going forward. So in that respect, Mr. Vance is correct. And there's even another trial coming up later this year against Mr. Weinstein, again in Los Angeles. So we've definitely seen, I think we can say, a change in attitudes over the last couple of years, and this will continue that, no question about it.
Eric, thank you very much indeed for your perspective there. Eric Lisanne in Washington.